is here with the second edition happening this September. The festival, proudly brought to you by Reach a Hand Uganda in partnership with Forum for Women in Democracy, is happening on 16th September 2023 at the Kati Kati Grounds in Kampala. Come participate with us on this educative, empowering and entertaining day, banded with live performances by your favorite Ugandan female stars like Spice Diana, Nava Gray, Lillian Babazi, Harakasita, Gabin Tate, and many others. Entrance is free and applications are now open for all SMEs, CSOs, and corporate companies looking to exhibit at the event. All contributions from the festival will go towards constructing the Imara Women's Center in Kasangati. Come on, come on.
You're all most welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Welcome to this podcast. And our guest today is very, very special. She is an engineer. She is a celebrated and seasoned politician. She is a diplomat. She is a feminist. Welcome, Engineer Winnie Byanyima. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you very much, Benson. I'm delighted to be here. And thank you for that kind of introduction. I prefer to go as Miss Byanyima.
Great. Thank you. You're most welcome. And we are happy to have you. Starting off, you were part of the long journey of the Constituency Assembly, and you and the other women decided that it was right to have an organization that you called For Day. And you were very, very central at creating For Day. Could you share with us your journey and the work to gender equality and how it formed the birth of For Day?
That's a long time ago, 28 years ago. We were in the Constituent Assembly, elected to make a new constitution for our country. And we were 51 women, and the House was 276 or so. And we knew we had a burden to defend and even add more provisions in the draft constitution and have them passed to ensure that the future in our country would be a future of equality between men and women, girls and boys. We wanted to put in so much that it required us to be able to research, to know how to defend what's in the draft, to introduce new things, and to persuade the majority men to pass those provisions. And I have to tell you, we were successful 100%, maybe more than 100%, because we also brought in other things that were not in the draft, such as the 1/3 for women in local government, such as an Equal Opportunities Commission. So having done that, we now knew that suddenly, at once, thousands of women were going to come into political decision-making. But they were not ready. They had never been in political decision-making, and they were coming in huge numbers. So we created Forum for Women in Democracy purposely to bring women in, help them to be ready to make the decisions that are needed at the local and national level to make men and women equal, to make the country give equal chance to men and women to contribute to development and to benefit from it. We did this also to make sure that what is in the Constitution becomes a reality. that such a commission for equal opportunities is enacted, that laws that are guaranteeing affirmative action are made in order to implement the new constitutional provisions. So that's how we started. I was one of 8 founder members, and we are so proud that after pioneering, we handed it over, and the successors, the new boards, the new staff have continued this work, and forward keeps marching forward.
Thank you so much. And we have seen Forward, thrive and thrive and thrive. And you were at the launch of the Imara Women's Center, and you said that the launch of the center was a good thing, and you said we have arrived. And I just wanted you to speak to us what that meant when you said we have arrived, and at this moment you said my heart is full. Do you think that we have indeed arrived?
No, we haven't arrived. When we launched the Imara Women's Center, it was the landing of this vision that I was celebrating, because we had taken many years in preparation. Imara Women's Center is a center where we want girls, young women, older women to find that safe space, empowering space, visionary space where they can find the inspiration, find the solutions, create the solutions to make their lives successful, to make them achieve what they want in their lives. We recognize the importance of space. Space is important. Why? Because in our society, where culture, traditions, religions accept, tolerate the inequality of men and women, girls and boys, where sons are preferred to daughters, where men make decisions in the home and women are treated like children, are silent, that this culture, this tradition, this whole way of life that we grow up in has to be challenged. And we've been challenging it all along. But we only are able to do that challenging, that changing of our traditions, our way of life, by coming together. Without coming together as an individual girl or woman, you can't change much. So we create this space, we're building it ourselves. We want women and girls each to put there a stone and build that center so that it is ours and no one can take it away from us. So that anyone who has put money in it, like a donor, knows that they are supporting us, but it belongs to us. That's a space where we can strategize, we can think forward, we can plan activities, we can also celebrate our lives, we can write our histories, we can record our achievements, we can rest, we can nurse each other and heal, because this work of changing society can be tiring, can be very exhausting if you are constantly pushing against some of the things that are part of our traditions that are not good. The other thing we created this space for is for our creativity. You see, women's lives are lived in different spaces from men's. If you think about the home and think about what you do as a girl and what the boy does, such different things. When I was growing up, it was us girls going to the river to fetch water. We helped our mothers in the gardens. We helped in the harvesting. Boys did other things. And so when you think about the different spaces we are in, our minds are wired quite differently. we have different experiences and we can create different solutions. It's why you need a free space to allow girls and women also to create solutions. So this is a space for innovation. We will be encouraging girls, young women to come and use this space. Could be an artist. If you're an artist and want somewhere to spend a sabbatical thinking and putting out new paintings or sculptures, this could be the space for you. If you are a designer and want to sit back and think about your next line of clothes, this can be the place where you can spend a few weeks to think it out and lay out your new designs. So it's a place for creativity. You may be an online trader and you've got some new things you want to start trading online. You want to create an app. This can be the place where you can sit, think, other things taken care of, like food, like your bed, like what is taken care of, and you just immerse yourself in thinking and creating. So this space is a space for women to empower themselves, empower each other, and claim equality in Uganda.
Very, very powerful there. And looking at the center, and we are saying that this center will anchor work towards an equal future for all. Now, what does this equal future look like so that more of us can imagine what Imara is going to be? And actually, Imara is bold, strong, and firm. So what does this future look like?
So let me explain. We work at two different levels. We who want a world that is equal. As I had already mentioned, we work to change the way people think, their attitudes, and the way people behave, their practices. These have been shaped for generations and centuries by a patriarchal system, a system that puts men and boys above women and girls, where sons are preferred to boys, property passes from a father to a son, opportunity for education goes first to a boy and next to a girl. Many things that put men before women, that give voice to men and silence women. We want to change that in the attitudes of society, in the practices of people in day-to-day life. But this same culture and tradition translates into decisions that become laws, policies, and how budgets are allocated. Because it is the same men who dominate public institutions. So we also work to change the policies, to change the budgets, to make them equalize men and women, to change the laws. That's why we fought very hard for women to be in decision making, because before there were hardly any. At the time I was first elected, we were so few of us. Even then, affirmative action had come, but we were still few. There was no 1/3 in local government. That's why so that those decisions can be decisions that favor women and girls' lives, to have equality in decision making. But we also fight for equality in other laws and policies. For example, we have affirmative action for girls in education. Why? Because at that time, you could see that at secondary school, HSC, university level, girls kept dropping out so fast. By the time you got to university, you had more boys in the university, fewer girls in the university, especially in the sciences. So you need to correct that. We need a government policy that encourages girls, keeps girls in school all the way to university, so they have the equal chance. So we work on policies, budgets, agriculture. Who works the fields? Who grows the food? Who's growing the coffee, the tea? It's women. But when that budget is allocated for agriculture, how much reaches them? If any reaches down on the ground, it is captured by the man who owns the land. So we want to change such rules so that the government in allocating is allocating conscious that women are doing the work, men are owning the land, and when you bring anything to empower a farmer, focus on the one doing the work. Let her be the beneficiary of what government delivers. These are the things we do. Changing policies to make them have equal outcomes for girls and boys, for men and women.
Yeah, maybe there's been really commendable progress, because I mean we have 43% of the cabinet now with women. We have about 33% of them in parliament, and more actually in local government, slightly above 45%. I know that this is progress, and the things that you're speaking to show that there has been work done. What more should we have to do to increase these percentages? And do they just have to be percentages, or we need more to the just representation, to the actual work and what goes into the pockets of the women?
Benson, you're right. The numbers are important, but the numbers are not the end of the story. We need women and men to be equal numbers in decision making, from local level up to national level. Why? First, because it's a human right. It's our country. We own it together. We must decide together. And as I said, our experiences are different. I come with a different experience as a woman who's socialized to be from being a girl to a woman, and a boy socialized as a boy up to being a man. So coming together in equal numbers will get the best decisions. But that's not the only reason. There's another reason. We are there so that the numbers translate into services, investments, laws and policies, budget allocations that give equal outcomes for boys and girls and men and women. So, for example, it can't be right that today, in this world which I work on HIV/AIDS, that in the age bracket of 15 to 24, girls and young women are more infected with HIV than boys and men. Actually, out of every 5 new infections in this country, 4 are girls and young women. 4, which tells you that girls, young women are more at risk of HIV than boys and men. That problem has to be solved by the numbers in the parliament, in the local government. Understanding the reasons why girls are more at risk and removing that risk is the responsibility of women in the parliament, the women in the local government, but especially in the parliament, because they control the budget. They can decide that allocations must be put to solving this problem of risk of girls. And you know what? The biggest risk they get is coming from not being in secondary school. We can get those women in parliament to make it their first priority, to speak for an ambitious movement towards free, universal secondary education so that every girl can finish senior 4. That way, you are sure she's in a classroom, she's not going to be raped because she's working in the field, or she's trading at the center, or she's in a male environment that's not structured, yet she's a child. So we really have to get those numbers to work for women and girls. And that's why Forward was created. Forward was created to support women in decision making, to use their power to deliver good outcomes, equal outcomes for the women and the girls of Uganda. We have to remove these inequalities that drive the ill health of women and girls. We know, for example, that in Uganda, only 35% of women and girls have access to sexual and reproductive health services, what others call family planning services, only 35%. That we also know that we have one of the highest rates of abortions, unsafe abortions. And why is that? It's because many women, girls, get pregnant. It's an unwanted pregnancy. They are afraid of losing a future. They have an unsafe abortion. They die in the process. Maternal mortality is one of the highest in the world here. We have to solve those problems. We have to put services near every girl who is having sexual activity. I am not here to judge, but we know that the majority of women in Uganda will have given birth by the age of 18. That tells you they are sexually active before 18. Now, if they are sexually active and they don't have quick access to go to get treatment if they get an infection, to get a contraceptive to stop themselves from getting pregnant, what happens? They die having unsafe abortions. They get ill and they lose their reproductive capacity. So health of women must be prioritized. Women MPs, women local government councillors, this should be their top priority. Ending sexual violence. A lot of the pregnancies are a result of forced sex. And a girl, if you ask many girls today or women of my age, tell us about your first sexual encounter. Most of the time they will tell you they were not ready, a boy or a man forced them. We have to end that. We have to have leadership that sees this issue of sexual violence, of sexual harassment in schools and colleges, and put in place measures to stop it, end the impunity, to have structures in the school system to guard and protect against sexual violence, sexual harassment. This is why we have the numbers. The numbers must deliver results, good health, equal rights to education, equal rights in the market, to be able to earn a living equally, to be there and have your chance and not be terrorized by tax collectors, pushed aside when you are applying for a tender just because you're a woman. We need equality in the market for women and girls. And we've won the numbers must deliver for us.
Well put, well put. Thank you very much. And I think that the Imara Women's Center gives us an opportunity to deal with what the numbers will actually help us to do. And how much will this center cost, and how can we, or how can people contribute towards the establishment of this center?
The center is going to Imara. By the way, the word Imara means strength. So Imara is going to be an anchor, giving women in all their diversity, young women, girls, older women, artists, traders, teachers, all women can use that center to claim their rights, to learn and organize with other women, to relax and heal when they are tired. So this center is going to cost us a lot of money. We have worked out and we know that it's going to cost us billions. However, we want every woman to contribute what they can to building it. Once we are all involved, we can build it. We want that even a schoolgirl, if she can save, to put her little money on Imara Center. Why? Because that's the place where she will be able to go. She will always have the doors open, and whatever it is that she needs to build her empowerment that is available, she will get that opportunity. Imara will be something where we want women from the grassroots, girls from the grassroots, to feel they own, to know they own. Today, many women's organizations are owned from the national level. They are created by women like me. The boards are staffed by people like me. And at the grassroots, they have community-based organizations, but they are not well linked to services for women's rights at the national level. We want to fill that gap. So that's why we'll have some way of reaching every corner of the country and ask for contributions and record the names of the contributors. We will have a golden book of all contributors. We will name different spaces in that center after the various groups of women that have contributed. We will truly own this together and use it to hold leaders accountable, to empower women leaders like our parliamentarians to hold the mantle and deliver for us. So there is a big dream, but the real contributors to this, achieving this dream, are each one of us.
Thank you so much for staying with us on this podcast. And we will have the Imara Girls Festival on the 16th of September at Katikati, Lugogo. You are all very invited and you are most welcome. But before we close, what is your call to action to those watching this podcast, wherever they are, across the globe?
I want to speak directly to girls of Uganda and young women of Uganda. You know, I am continuously amazed by your creativity, by your boldness, by your attitudes of, I can do it. I see so many of you online. You are selling something online. You are sharing some messages online. You are an influencer. You are out there in the global space, virtual space, doing something. This is your space. Imara Festival is the place where you should come and share what you do and learn about what others are doing. You could be a schoolgirl, but you could already be creating something online and earning from it. I've seen some amazing stuff. Let me share about one company that I think is doing amazing things. There's a company called Buziga Hill. Buziga Hill is turning the issue of dumping upside down. You know how we have all these secondhand clothes and ordinary people buy them because that's what they can afford? Well, part of the story is not such a good one because it's also about people in rich countries buying and buying and buying and having nowhere to throw the old ones and dumping them here so that we are the ones who have to absorb their rubbish. So out of all the clothes, some are good, but there's a lot of rubbish, and we are left with the duty of disposing what is rubbish. Now, what does Buziga Hill do? Young people have decided to go and sort out those clothes. They bring them into their factory. They turn them into very hip new fashions, and they sell them online, and the same rich people in the north buy them from here in Uganda. In other words, they are recycling. They are using technology, their brains, to recycle. In other words, they are saying to people in rich countries, why do you keep buying and throwing? Why don't you transform your clothes so that you don't have a lot of waste and you are not destroying the environment? But they are making money from it. They are turning those thrown away clothes into fashionable new clothes and reselling them at high prices to rich people in the north. This is the kind of dream I have for our young people. Do things that build our country, protect our environment, advance education, bring good products, healthy products to our people. Recently, a young woman came here to visit me. She's the owner of a company that is making organic, healthy products for our natural hair. I no longer straighten my hair. So many of us gave up that. But she is making products and is beginning to sell them on the world market of organic, healthy products for our hair. This is what I love, to see our young people going out there to make things, to earn livings that are healthy, protect the environment. This is how we'll get our country back. So come girls, come young women, let's meet at the festival, Imara Girls Festival.
Thank you so much. You have heard it from her, well put, and she's the Executive Director of UNAIDS. You're most welcome. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Imara Girls Festival is here with the second edition happening this September. The festival, proudly brought to you by Reach a Hand Uganda in partnership with Forum for Women in Democracy, is happening on 16th September 2023 at the Kati Kati Grounds in Kampala. Come participate with us on this educative, empowering and entertaining day, banded with live performances by your favorite Ugandan female stars like Spice Diana, Navo Gray, Lillian Babazi, Harakasita, Gabin Tate, and many others. Entrance is free and applications are now open for all SMEs, CSOs, and corporate companies looking to exhibit at the event. All contributions from the festival will go towards constructing the Imara Women's Center in Kasangati. Come on, come on.
What ignites your passion? What fuels your ambition? What drives you to succeed? Whatever the reason is, you need a companion with you to tell you that your dreams are valid, to fuel your passion and inspire you to learn every single day. Introducing the new age Sauti Plus TV, a fresh, easily accessible and content-packed platform for young people. A companion like no other to give you accurate and reliable information and guide you in making the right choices and take the right direction. A companion to open you to a Pan-African cinematic experience to help make sense of the world around you. A mobile companion that goes easy on your wallet and sticks with you all the way. Sauti Plus TV, your number one source for shows that matter, anywhere, anytime. Download the Sauti Plus app on the App Store and Google Play Store or head to www.sautiplus.org.